Sangria's birthday. Happy birthday to Sangria. Sangria by my side. Happy birthday, Sangria. Yeah, we're both eating ice cream cake. See? Yeah, I know. You like the mint chocolate chip. I know it. Yep, so Sangria's what? You're 4. You're 4 years old. What are you gonna do now that you're 4? You're just gonna eat. That's all you're gonna do, just eat. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to Sangria. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Ow. Yeah, so Sangria is just having fun. Yeah, so happy birthday to Sangria. Sangria. Well, she would sing. I know you're kind of disappointed at me. I wasn't able to bring Justin. Dang, Justin Bieber. Hey, hold on. About technology, just like what JJ was talking about before about the arcade. If you're an 80s baby, you know exactly what we're talking about. Every 80s kid's dream was arcade. When you would go to the arcade, whoever was the best player playing the arcades, they were celebrities in that area. Oh man, this guy's good in Street Fighter 2. Oh man, let's look at him. Oh man, this guy's good in Pac-Man, whatever the case may be. Nowadays, it's not the same, even though you can do the internet type of view where you can compete against a lot of people, but it's not as personal as it used to be. So in this episode, I just wanted to talk about technology. What type of technology you like, what type of technology you would like to see. What do you remember in technology? I'll start first. My very first game system I remember having as a kid was Atari. I had the ET game. I had it was like a battle wars game. It was supposed to be planes and tanks, but really the planes and tanks, thinking about it now, they both look the same. And it was the same premise where you're on one side, the other one's on the other side, and you have to go around and try to figure out a way to actually shoot someone without being hit, or the plane the same way. It was weird because it was all on the same screen. Think about it now. I'm trying to think of what other Atari games I had then.
I had the Commodore 64. Remember that?
Yeah. Wow.
And the joystick actually really like one stick.
Yeah.
You press the button. It's like a spaceship trying to hit all the creatures that try to attack you.
Alien Invaders.
Alien Invaders. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first major game besides Pong. Wow.
Pac-Man, of course. I love Pac-Man.
I remember. Wow.
I remember when I was in college. I used to skip class to stay in the lunchroom to basically play Pac-Man. Man, I'm playing Pac-Man. Maybe like 20 people around us. We playing Pac-Man. Hey, man, you go to class, man. Forget class, man. I'm trying to win. What's up? You want to bet? Man, I bet $10 you can't pass this level. All right, cool. Let's do it. And it was like 25 cents. So bam, playing, bam. I spent like $5.
Yeah.
Like, $5, $10 a day playing Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Missing class.
Well,
I feel that year. Oh well.
But you're really good at Pac-Man, though.
Yeah, really good at Pac-Man.
Let me see. Then the next game console that I had, I was 5 when I got it for my birthday. My parents got me the Nintendo. And remember, like, the Nintendo came with the Super Mario Brothers and the Duck Hunt game together. And that was just Nintendo was so ahead of their time back then. Like, that's when guys really started getting into technology more, was once Nintendo came out. Windows and stuff wasn't out then. I remember Apple was out, but it was like Apple, and I had a Atari computer that like my parents had. Now I have to mind you, my parents are cheap. So if you don't believe me, either ask my cousins or my sister. You'll see how cheap. They had that Atari computer till I graduated high school.
Wow.
Which, if you want to know, it was back in '99 I graduated high school.
Wow.
So I still remember the old school '80s computer because that's what I grew up on. On that, in order for you to actually use anything on the computer, you had to have a disc, or you had to have an A disc. No CD drive. No, it didn't have B drive. I think B drive still was. B drive's never really been popular. But in order to play a game or anything on it, you have to put in a disc. So like we had like 100 discs just for the Atari computer, just to use anything. In order for us to print, now mind you, this is me in high school. I had to print using one of the old perforated printers, where for the youngins, basically what that is it's those little it was a groove on a type of printer where it would actually pull the paper itself, so that way you would see it print. So at the end of it, you would have to rip off the sides of it, and then you would actually have the paper. And now printers just do it automatically. There's an auto setting. But before, there was actually a groove in it to actually do it. So yeah. So that's what I grew up on till I went to college. So with the Nintendo, the games that I had obviously the standard Super Mario Brothers Dunk Hunt game. I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Yeah, I had I have to remember all my games. When the Power Pad first came out, I had that Olympics game in honor of the Olympics. I had that Olympics game, so every single time that like my cousins would come over, and mind you, I have a lot of cousins, we would all just spend hours back in the 80s just playing the Power Pad, playing all the Olympic games. You can kind of see a game similar to that now if you actually have the Wii, and if you play the Mario versus Sonic Olympics games, it's kind of the same premise. The only difference now is that they actually use Sonic characters. Then it was just random people. So it was just a little bit different then. Let me see what other games I had. Wow. What other games did I have for Nintendo? I know I'm forgetting some. But when I lived in Ohio, that's when I got it. But when I moved to Vegas, and like one of my next door neighbors, you know, we all had Nintendo. So like we would all play against each other, go to each other's house and just play different video games. I just can't remember any other games that I had. Any other Nintendo games I had right now. I guess because those were the two main ones that I used to play. Now, mind you, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game didn't come out till like 90, 91. So I'm missing some. Bases Loaded. I had Bases Loaded 2. I used to play that all the time because I used to always be the Texas team. And I forgot the guy's name. If anybody who's watching this, if you're watching off of YouTube and you know the name of this player, he's on the Texas team of Bases Loaded. He was the third batter. Every single time I played with him, always hit it out of the park. I don't remember his name, so if anybody knows it, please put it down on the comments on this page so that way I can actually remember. Alright, after that, I had my Game Boy that I bought out of my own money. With that, I had Kirby's Dream Land, of course Tetris. Tetris is just an ill game just because of the concept of it. Which is a side note, but I have to kind of mention this story because I love to watch documentaries. One documentary I was seeing was on video games. And one video game that they featured was the Tetris games and how it actually was developed. Basically, the guy who actually made the Tetris game, he had to go out to Russia to actually buy the rights to the game. But not only could he have to worry about that, mind you, this was the 80s. The Cold War was still going on. He had to convince the Russian government that he was not a spy and he was not trying to take information. So he spent years, you know, building a relationship with the guy who actually made the Tetris games. And to this day, from what they say, they're still like great friends and they still develop games together. But that's just interesting, just hearing and just knowing that's how some people would develop games, is just by seeing someone who were developing them on their own. Kind of like two sets of brothers who they were making games in their house, like a lot of different games. So the major game consoles came to them to actually make games for them. I forgot the name of the company. I believe it's Activision, but I believe it's Activision. If I'm wrong, then just put it in the comments what the right one is. But basically, that's just tight how they just develop games in their house as teenagers, and now they're making millions just off the games. The next console I had was the Sega Genesis. I had the not the original Sega, but the Sega Genesis. I had Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Me and my sister used to play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to no end. In fact, wow, this is kind of amazing. We would play, this is actually when I moved to Florida, we would play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 while only listening to Aaliyah's song. Only one song of Aaliyah we would have on repeat while we would play Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Thing about it now, I'm not sure why we did, but we just did. It's the remix song that I believe the Isley Brothers had, and she sung it. The At Your Best, You Are Love. We would have that on repeat every single time we would play Sonic. Every time. So I had that game. I had Street Fighter 2. But no wait, I had Street Fighter 2 I believe it was the Championship Edition. I bought that with my own money too. And you know that I must have liked that game because I bought that game the day it came out. I still remember the price of it. It was $75 when I bought it. Yeah, I still remember. Now, yeah, I got it at the BX. If you guys don't know what the BX is, it's basically just a military base. It's store. Think Walmart. It's basically the same thing. In fact, Walmart basically got the idea, or Sam Walton got the idea from the BX, because that's exactly how the BX or PX, depending on which branch you're in. All right, I'm trying to think of another game that had games that I had. Wow, I can't remember any of the games that I had.
Yeah, a lot of games.
What about you?
I remember one game I had. Besides Pac-Man, I had the Michael Jordan Larry Bird game. I think that was that Atari or Nintendo? Not Nintendo. I know it was Nintendo.
Wait,
Nintendo 64.
Oh,
no, what's that?
Wait, the Bulls versus Celtics game?
No, Larry Bird and Bulls. It was 1-1. The Larry Bird and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
What was that? That was Black Commodore? No. Oh, no, not Nintendo.
No. Yeah, it was either because that had to be either the regular Nintendo, or did you have a regular Nintendo, or?
I think regular Nintendo.
Yeah.
Regular Nintendo.
Because around that time, I know that they had that's when they started doing licensing, and they were able to start doing some basketball games, but they only could have like a couple of teams.
Yeah.
Or like a couple of players, and that's it. That's all they had license for.
That was a game where they actually you pick Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, and they play 1-on-1 against each other.
Oh. I remember that. I think I've only played that maybe one time. But I had which reminded me, I had the Bulls versus Lakers game.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because they had like Bulls versus Lakers, I think Bulls versus Pistons. Like it was like a 3 or 4 years when the Bulls were playing against people. It only had the tournament teams.
Yeah.
So if your team was not in the tournament, you couldn't play that team. Didn't have all the NBA teams until I think NBA Jam or NBA Live was the first one. Jam. Well, they were the first ones to actually have all teams, but then you only had 2 or 3 players you could actually choose from.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you could.
But it wasn't like the technology like how it's today.
Nah.
Because you like one player, you only one player, then that player got to jump to that player. Like if I pass the ball to you, then you got to be that player, and you got to press him on to dunk. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. So it definitely took a lot more skill back then, in my opinion, to actually play a lot of those, especially the sports games. It took a lot of skill just to do some stuff, just because it was just hard. Nowadays you can there's cheat sheets. You can go online and, oh, okay, I can go past this level because this website told me how to defeat it. Back then, if you didn't watch GamePro, if you didn't read GamePro, or until Game Genie came out, and that was like the late 80s when Game Genie came out. You remember that? Game Genie? It was, I never had it, but it was like a little device that like you could put in like in the regular Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo, where you could actually put it in, and then you could put the cartridge in on top of it, and basically it would unlock certain passwords. It would unlock certain like special abilities that normally you would have to fight through to actually get those abilities, or maybe like what they call in the computer industry eggshells. Yeah, kind of like, for instance, if you guys don't know this, all right, check this out. When you guys go to yahoo.com, click on the exclamation point on Yahoo and make sure that you have your speakers up. As soon as you click on it, you'll hear the Yahoo theme song start. That's what an eggshell is, where it's little stuff hidden in things that the designers did. Yep. So if you guys don't know, definitely check it out right now. I've already done it. I've already known about it anyway. It's true.
Hey,
so
learn something new by watching YouTube. Wow.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So, what other games did you?
Most of the time, I was outside on a basketball court playing basketball. Because most of the games I played was basketball games. Mm-hmm. My favorite game was Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogger. Mm-hmm. Remember Frogger?
Yeah.
You remember when Prodigy came out? It was like a computer game. It was like the internet, kind of like American Online, or called Prodigy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that advanced as it is today, but
it didn't have the WW.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that type.
It wasn't the World Wide Web. No,
right.
It wasn't all that.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, I don't remember a lot of the games I played. Remember, I'm like 95 years old now, so I can remember all these games.
Well,
Again, you see the gray hair?
No, I have more gray hair right now, but I've always had gray hair. What I used to play a lot more, what I used to play the most, even with all those game consoles, was on the Atari computer. Was those games that I got since I was a kid. Because back then you could go to different like computer stores and just buy, just the games and just play them on there, even though the graphics weren't as good as like the arcade. Like back then, the arcade beat out everything. You couldn't do anything as tight at home compared to the arcade games then. People just stay in hours just watching arcade endings just because it was just.
Well, that's why the arcade would make a lot of money back then. Now it's like, okay, you go to arcade, well, not the same. I'd rather just stay home and play the Wii or
PlayStation 3, or Xbox. Mm-hmm. Or even like just playing computer games now. Like the computer games are so detailed and so long and all this type of stuff. It's like, man, people are spending their lives now playing these games, where before you played it when you had nothing else to do. But how the games were designed, you could not spend your whole life playing the game. You would beat it before you would do that.
Now it's like you becoming like a couch potato playing the games.
Yeah.
And a loner, really, because now, especially when texting came out, I mean, you don't have to actually tell somebody, I break up with you. Text you, I'm over, I don't want to see you no more. I like your best friend better. Like, text me. I call the phone, don't pick up the phone. I don't want to talk to you no more. So it's like technology is good, but then you got people got lazy.
Yeah. Yep. Because remember when you had to get in contact with somebody a long time ago, you would actually have to write them. You have to send them physical letters. Now you don't have to do anything at all. You can just go online. You can just on their Facebook or on their Twitter, just leave a message. Now you don't even have to wait or anything. They can just reply whenever if they want to. But nowadays that part is still weird because I still see like one of my other friends. He basically told me an interesting story. He said he was talking to this one girl. They were texting each other back and forth. Then she stopped texting him. So he just sent like one more text like, "Hey, how's your day?" She didn't respond back. He was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'm not gonna think about it. Whatever." And then he sees her online. You know, actually online on like Facebook or whatever it was. "Hey, what's going on?" She's not responding back to him. Here's on her comments, "Oh, I'm having such a wonderful day. Oh, I'm so happy to have the people in my life." So he's like reading this. He's like, "Man, hey, I'm trying to text you and you're not responding back to me." It's like, dang. I guess that was the end of his relationship and he didn't even know it.
So she never responded?
No. Well, not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Well, you know, now there's some certain thing called the text language. If you say something wrong with the text, it's like, okay, he said something mean in text, I'm not gonna respond. Now it's like you gotta respond